the thing that works with Connor is that damn accent he has. That's why he sounds so damn funny, you know? Take the accent away, and his trash talk, it won't be as funny to me. But you add that accent to it, and he's tanking everybody.
It's pretty clever stuff, though. He's going out there.
It is clever.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Tim means mother.
So what do we got today before you get going?
Strength conditioning just got done. Now we're gonna do some grappling with Steve Hanna, who's very informative and sneaky.
Here. Because here, I've essentially pinned him. He can't run away from me. And as I circle, he kind of like guides his legs where I want him to go. I end up in a good spot. And if you have a gi on, there's a choke right here.
Going to start getting more comfortable, or we've been doing it. We've been getting comfortable with my ground game, top control, different passes. So I have a good ground game and I have a wrestling game, and these are things I want to exploit in my fights. So not exploit, I guess. Exploit the word? Show off.
Utilize?
Yeah, utilize. Yeah, so that's a great thing about martial arts or mixed martial arts, is the ability to use all of our tools, you know, use absolutely every discipline we have. So I get caught up in my own head to where I want to just be in a fist fight, throwing punches, knees, kicks, and at times I lose focus on takedown defense and being comfortable on my back, throwing strikes. I need to be hitting those scrambles, and since I've been at 70, those things have been happening. So I'm really starting to fall in love with submissions. So something about making somebody tap on you. You know, I've been in those positions and it's a crappy feeling, so I want to give that back. Give the Santa that gives. So now, start at 11:30. I'm going to rinse out my mouth and go into the next practice. And just watch, Steve has some cool stuff. So have the camera rolling.
Like I built this town. Steps so light, I barely touch the ground. And everybody wants to know how. Brick by brick, I put them in the ground. Walk like I built, walk like I built this. I do it for my people, family business. And everybody wants to know how. Take a good look, you are now witness.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. I got a fresh breath and a full plate. Wake up, this is not a game. I'll take my fresh breath and go my own way. This is what I live for. This is what I live for. This is what I live for. This is what I live
Learn something new every day. That's how you know you still want to be in something, when you're learning. I've seen a lot of athletes come in here, a lot of good athletes. And the fact that they knew it all and were uncoachable, and they never progressed, and they saw themselves out of the doors, you know, they saw themselves out of the gym. And a lot of that. The ability to create your own roadblocks. You can't find yourself, you can't get past those things, you know, so it's all in your head. If you're not learning something new every day, you're just kind of shutting down yourself, so. Yeah. I learned 5 new things today. It's awesome. Alright, now we're off to go meet the kiddos, get school supplies, which we're sure we got most school supplies. All we need is shoes and food. Yeah, we're gonna pick the girls up on Sunday. We have to drive out to that Russell's truck stop out there on I-40. It's about 3 hours from here. So we'll pick them up there. That's halfway. So, yeah. Going through all that stuff with the girls, you get in there and you're talking to a judge that, I guess I got a little angry in court or whatever, where the judge made me do like some anger management classes again and all that stuff, because the judge gets to go home at the end of the night. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I got to live in that environment of sending my kids back to a dangerous environment. And I don't think the judge really realized that, you know. So when I brought up about, oh, can we meet halfway or whatever, he brings up, oh, you make the most money, you need to go all the way, and it's like, it's kind of not making the mom step up or whatever. But now the mom's got a good guy. We're all learning how to communicate and relate and all that. So I sent the girls out there to Oklahoma for 2 weeks, which I was kind of against or whatever, but they need to know their family and they need to know both sides. So I'm happy to see my kids smile or whatever. At the same time, I still want to keep my guard up and do all that, but sometimes you have to put the guard down and kind of let things play out. That's where we're at with this. With them visiting out there, you know, girls came from a bad environment, drugs and moms in prison, and I did my own thing out here, but it took 8 years to get a judge to take me serious or an attorney to take me serious for me to go to court. It was letters of recommendation from the judge that sent me to prison, sheriffs, the lieutenant governor here, and Bill Cologne, or Mr. Cologne. So it took 8 years to get somebody to look at me in a serious light and not just look at me as another idiot. And you know, it's just, I don't know, things have gotten better with that stuff, but I'm still having to prove myself every day. Custody of my girls, did all that, you know. I didn't even do anything wrong going out there, and the judge still made me do more parenting classes and more anger management classes, and I hadn't picked up a charge or gotten in trouble in 10 years.
Right.
You know, and they were still not taking me serious. And the 10 years is based off the time I was sitting incarcerated. I didn't get in trouble in that 2 years. So, you know, I got out, had to do another 8 years. So
8 years of what?
8 years of doing the right stuff, you know, paying my bills, not getting in trouble, taking drug tests, and just doing the right thing. So it wasn't like it was a quick fix at 8 months or 2 months or whatever to get in my girls' lives. It took 8 years for a judge to take me serious and for me to be able to get my girls. Still working on that stuff every day, still working on my own temper and my own anger. And, you know, I have my adopted brother-in-law in here now that's in here working on his own anger and getting reset and doing all that. So I make him go in here and do this stuff by himself at this counseling that we're at, because you gotta take responsibility for the things you do and and your actions, and you gotta control yourself. And so he's in here. He just turned 10, so Jacob's in here taking responsibility for his actions and trying to be a better person. They were sending me to counseling and all that. You know, my childhood comes with abusive stepdads and, you know, all the above. The guy my mom's married to now, Chris Thedford's the dad that I needed at the time. He stepped into my life when I was 9 or 10, and I was Jacob's age, you know, so I needed a role model then. And, you know, adult grown men were just abusive and meaner than shit when I was a kid. So they were sending me to counseling. I didn't want to talk about those things. It just made me more mad. So I'd go to school and get into fist fights, and people were saying I needed to talk, and they weren't asking the right questions. They were just trying to pry.
All right.
Hello, I'm Jacob, and I'm part of Timmy's life, and I don't know what to say anymore.
That's perfect. That's
Pretty good. That's pretty good, Jake.
I introduce myself, then I go into Lowe's to get a door for my mama.
We have to go to the door because Jacob broke it?
No,
Oh, no.
I have to get a door for my mom because she wants a door.
Was it 24 by 80?
24 by 80.
Are you sure? Huh? No. All right, we're gonna go 30 by 80. We need to make sure it's on the left-hand side. We go back to like where I was at 10 years ago. You know, the gym's helped me vent, it's helped put my life into perspective, and this old martial arts has saved my life, and helped me vent, helped me make a living. So I'm thankful to be in the gym as many times as I can. 6 days a week, we're down there at the gym. So. But we find time to do stuff with the family and hang out. Donald Cerrone gets brought up a lot. Carlos Condit. You know, those are all guys from here or whatever, but
Would you ever fight Condon?
you know, I'm a prize fighter, so the right prize, I'll fight. So, you know, Condit and I have a history, we go back or whatever, but we're fighters at the end of the day, and we can get along after we punch each other in the face, so.
Do you guys still talk?
Nah, not too much.
No.
When we see each other, we're cordial, you know, bring up the past a little bit or whatever, but for the most part, we've moved on, and he has his life and I have mine. Jacob's come a long ways, you know. He comes from, he's had mom's multiple boyfriends beat him up, collapsed his skull, and cracked open his head, and that kid's night and day where he is. He's been working hard on his temperament and his anger, and he just comes from a rough early upbringing, so you know, we get along good because I can relate with him and I know what he's struggling with mentally, and I get mad at the kid, but also have a soft spot when he does dumb things or he's attacking people at school or whatever. I understand that anger gets the best of you, you know, so if we can mold that now, he's a bunch of positive skill sets for himself. He's good with numbers. You can relate with him and talk to him. He's a good kid, but when he gets mad and he gets off that rocker, man, he's hard to deal with. A lot of the teachers, when we first got him, they just wanted to kind of push him along because they didn't want to deal with him, and that wasn't helping him out. Or he would get mad and they'd change his whole day. They'd change everything in the day to make him happy, and it's like, nah, man, that's not helping. Tell him no, make him step up, and now look at him, running in flip-flops. All right, next spot.
Your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Gracias.
De nada.
I'm going to be a referee until when I'm done being a referee, I'm going to be a wrestler.
Nice.
That order? You're going to go in that order? Referee and then the wrestler? What about architect?
I don't know what
An architect, how you build your Lincoln logs and your creations, your design and
I'm
stuff?
going to be that next.
Oh, after that. Man, got a long road. Got a long road ahead of you, huh? So I was playing that PUBG game the other day, and I get people on there that kind of recognize my name, and I don't have a mic or whatever because I'm just barely starting to learn to play the game. And we have a guy gets on there, and he's like, "Oh, Dirty Bird 170, too bad you're not the real Tim Means." So I get my messages, and I'm like, or he asked if I had a mic or whatever, and I said, "Sorry, no mic." And I said yes to answer his question about being Tim Means, and he's like, "Oh yeah, right, I want to believe you." And he has two partners on there, two buddies on there, because we're playing in a group of four, or a team of four, and the one buddy's telling, I'm texting the guy back and forth about, yeah, you know, I really am Tim Means. He's bringing up the Pittsburgh fight with Donald Cerrone, and I said, "Hey man, sorry about that, supplements suck. Had to learn a lesson the hard way." And his buddy starts telling me, he's like, "Man, he's like, if that's really Tim Means, you're not being trolled." He's like, I'll cut off my left testicle." And I was all, "Oh yeah." So I texted the guy, I said, "Man, he owes you his testy." I said, "This is really Tim Means." And the guy's like, "Yeah, right." So we go back and forth. I'm like, "Get on social media, go on Twitter, whatever, I'll answer you, or go on my fan page on Facebook." I said, "I'll answer you." He's like, "I don't have either one of those." And so the bet starts getting a little bit more lucrative. The guy's like, "Oh, I'll bet $1,000 and all this." So I winded up sending the guy the kid that was answering me to say I was his favorite fighter or whatever. I gave him my phone number and had him FaceTime me. And he gets on there and he's like, "Oh, it is Tim Means." And you can hear it through the mic on the video game. He's all excited, and it's a cool feeling, but at the same time he's like kissing my butt, and the other guys are like, "Stop kissing Tim Means' ass, let's get back to the video game." And then they actually didn't see my face. I'm not sure. I don't think they really believed him that he was talking to me or whatever, but it's cool to know that, you know, I got people that like to watch me fight and look up to me and stuff. It was cool. Kid's super cool. I think from Virginia. I didn't get his name, but we're friends on Xbox now, so it's cool with that.
You've ever played that?
I have, and I hate that game. I keep getting the crap kicked out of me. And then, you know, you get that mic or whatever, that intercom or whatever it is, and you get the little kids talking trash to you, and, you know,
Are you yourself, or do you pick another fighter?
I'll be myself, you know. I think I like, I think I've tried to just about everybody on the game or whatever, but yeah, it's weird seeing your face on there or whatever, but it's neat, you know. My nephew Mario will get on there just to beat me up and then call me and tell me he knocked me out and all that good stuff, so yeah, too many dang buttons. Fighting in real life is a lot easier, you know. Yeah, it's neat stuff, man. Come a long ways from buying commissary and rocket eagles to being on a video game, you know. So it's a neat change, you know. I completely understand why, you know, I know guys that'll return to prison and that's an easy life for them, you know. Being in real life and paying taxes and putting gas in the truck and paying your car payments and your house payments and all that, that comes with an everyday grind, and a lot of guys will break on that. A lot of girls will break on that stuff. It's much easier sitting in a jail cell without no rent, knowing where your food's going to be at, and knowing when you're going to get your next shower. You know, I see why people return to that lifestyle. It's just easy.
How long were you in that lifestyle?
4 years. 4 years, and I got chance after chance, and I kept lying to the judge. Judge Jones out of Magistrate Court there in Moriarty. He gave me I don't know how many chances, and I thought I was smarter than him. I thought I was smarter than the cops, and turns out those guys are pretty smart. Actually smarter than me, so I was thankful that at the time I wasn't thankful, but after I got out and got all my stuff in order, I was thankful Judge Jones sent me to prison and ultimately saved my life, because, you know, worst case scenarios, I could be dead right now. You know, I could be doing life in prison. My anger got the best of me, or some stupid crap happened. I wouldn't even be in Jacob's life or Danny's or the girls. You know, I've had to really work on controlling those things. Still work on them today, but every single one of those problems I had was because I put myself in those situations. And I'm a big believer you have to take responsibility for your actions. You just have to, you know, or we get people blaming everything, and, you know, people are meaner and hell to each other nowadays just for the simple fact that they don't take responsibilities, and they don't have to be responsible for the things they say on social media. And it's a crazy life. And it's just social media. Everybody's racist and hates each other. But, you know, you go outside and talk to one another and wave to your neighbor or whatever. People aren't that mad in the world, not like they are on social media.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.